We're going to go now to Washington, ABC News, and Frank Reynolds for a late-breaking news story. Here, tragic report from Frank Reynolds, ABC News, Washington. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Datsun, who invites you to test drive the all-new 200 SX Sport Coupe. It'll drive you like you have never been driven. That's your Datsun dealer now. We'll be ready for the second half kickoff after a word from our local stations. New Orleans 28, Oakland 14. We'll be back. The Saints and the Raiders have taken the field once again as we are moments away from the beginning of the second half. We look at the statistics. New Orleans, who piled up at one point a club record 28 points in one quarter, 28 unanswered points. They did it with a couple of turnovers on the part of the Oakland Raiders, a deflected pass that was intercepted, and a fumble by Stabler, both leading to New Orleans touchdowns. At the beginning of the ball game, New Orleans had marched the length of the field, looked like they were going to control it. They had talked about ball control. They did just that. New Orleans settled down. They came right back and marched off a touchdown drive of their own that took over 6 minutes. And then it was all New Orleans until the final 2 minutes and 18 seconds when Kenny Stabler took his team from the 21-yard line the length of the field. He had a lot of help from a defensive infraction by Eric Felton in the end zone. The story 28-14, but it's far from over.
The story, Chuck Muncie among others. Al Davis said today, the one man I fear is Muncie. He just told me our defense isn't worth a darn. I'm disgusted. Didn't mince words about it.
That's Dick Stanfield, one of the all-time great players that ever played. He coached for Dick Nolan out in San Francisco, and of course he was the one holdover after Stram was fired that Dick kept. Great professional player at Detroit and Washington. Gary Yepremian will kick off for New Orleans. Ira Matthews is 43. To your left, he's back there with Todd Christensen. But it will be Matthews from his 7-yard line. And Matthews, that's New Orleans out to the 33-yard line, close to the 34, where we anticipate a offense that will be comprised of a 2 tight end offense. Again, you're looking at the import to this game for New Orleans. They need a win tonight to move back into a tie with the Los Angeles Rams, who won in overtime over Minnesota yesterday. New Orleans next week will play San Diego here. Their final game of the year will be in the Los Angeles Coliseum. And for Oakland, they have the same record, but they are all but mathematically out of any potential playoff possibility. Oakland with a 1st and 10, and Arthur Whittington gets the call first, out over the 35, close to the 37. Ken Bordelon made the stop there for New Orleans.
In theory, Oakland could still make the playoffs. Realistically, even if they win tonight, it's not likely. But apparently Oakland's going to go right back to its original game plan, which is encouraging from the point of view of competitive game.
Smart thing to do, I think, too, Howard, because they came in the first series of downs they had. Then they moved right down to do everything they wanted to.
Branch was the starting flanker. 2nd down 6, Stabler to the air. A lot of time. Incomplete. Intended there for Casper.
Oh, that's
Hughes defensively along with Fettersfield. They were right in the middle of that pattern.
I think that's a good example of how you're limited what types of patterns you can run with that 2 tight end offense. They really are not in a position to do a great deal more than to do the crossing type patterns. You saw Chester come over. The pass was thrown late. And so, therefore, Chester had time to get over really in front and bring his defensive people over in front of Casper.
But that's why you have to like Fettersfield. He has such tremendous range back there. He's going to be very hard to get out of there, even by Bordelon, whom they're so high on.
3rd down 6. Stabler again with the time, and it's almost picked off.
Oh, that really was almost picked off.
Tom Myers almost, and he might have turned that into 6 had he been able to hold on.
He probably would have. He turned 1 into 6 this year. Look at it again, Don.
Yeah, really, the Saints are tied, well, were coming into this game tied with the Redskins for most interceptions at 22. Kind of unusual that every defensive back and every linebacker has an interception this year, and this is the guy that has had 6 so far.
Tarkenton won't forget Myers. He intercepted 1 on Fran in the end zone last year, ran it back in the opening game more than 100 yards for a touchdown, and New Orleans won the game.
Butch Monty awaits the punt of Ray Guy. This time Guy turns it over, gets the nose down, Monty takes it at the 12. Beautiful punt by Guy. And hustling down there was Rufus Bess. 50-yard punt by Ray Guy, who had one earlier off the side of his foot and was way below his average, which was third in the NFL coming into tonight's play.
There are a lot of weekly cliches, Rendon, in this game, but that last Oakland series was important because they wanted to establish something immediately, get a score on the board, and really get back into this game. They couldn't do it.
That's an indication that what you're talking about, Oakland has not been able to stop New Orleans either. We saw Oakland do it the first series, but they've only stopped the Saints one drive. That was their first.
First and 10, the Saints, their own 25-yard line. They have a 28-14 lead. Their first possession here in the third quarter. Ike Harris in motion, the handoff to Chuck Muncie. And Muncie slips out of the grasp of Rod Martin, but he's taken out of bounds after a gain of a yard and a half.
Frank, I don't want to depart the storyline, but a guy came in to say hello to the three of us who I think deserves mention. One of the best defensive ends you ever saw. Rich Jackson of Denver, now teaching here in New Orleans. He just wanted to come up and say hello. And it's nice to see a guy so valuable to the community who has been such a great player.
Second down, 8. Manning hangs it out. Galbraith. And Ted Hendricks defensively, again for Oakland. They were trying to cover Galbraith with the linebacker. That's a very difficult thing to do. He's a gifted receiver with a lot of speed.
Frank, it's one of those patterns that you really just hope you can complete in practice because it was an out and go. You see Hendricks had him to the outside. The ball was thrown before Galbraith made his move, and he was behind Hendricks by a good 3 or 4 yards.
They talk about touch and quarterbacks.
That was nice
just laid up there.
Nice touch. Really was.
Beat one of the best linebackers around for so many years, Ted Hendricks.
The first down for New Orleans inside the 43-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Play action by Archie Manning. Looking for Ike Harris. He was covered, so Manning does what he does so well, runs with the football. He doesn't do it as often as he did when he came up a few years ago, but he gets good yardage. Give him 6, it'll be second down and 4.
But that's the mobility Don Meredith has been talking about.
You know, yeah, I got to 20 feet in that time. That something must have gone wrong back there because he didn't waste much time to move. You know what I mean? Hi, Mom, please send money.
The playoff thing.
He was looking deep to Ike Harris, and Lester Hayes was all over Harris.
Is that what it was? Because he just moved so quickly. He moved to the outside and made his run. But he does. You know, Archie is. They're trying to get him not to run. They don't like to see the quarterbacks run, particularly when you see those two guys he's got lined up right behind him.
Second and 4. The ball at the 37-yard line. Muncie in the side handoff gets the first down. Down to the 31-yard line.
Frank, they had a 4-man line that time, but they still had a guy lined up over the center. Been several names for that type of defense. I don't know really what you call it, overshift. We used to call it a Frisco defense. But they try to. Again, I think the center, John Hill, is doing a heck of a job in the middle of that line. They're really high on Sanders also at left guard. They think Robert Wood is potential all-pro. These guys are doing a good job.
Hello, Dick. Remember all the mornings we drove into Yankee Stadium together? You and Landry and Robustelli?
What did he say?
On first down, Manning tries to get the screen to Muncie.
Oh, Pat Toomey is on him.
Offensively, your old teammate, Pat Toomey out there, Donald.
Now, we talked about that once before. He never was my teammate. You guys had me convinced one time that he was, but he really wasn't. But there he is.
Well, he's convinced he was.
Well, maybe so. You know, that one got a little fuzzy that time of your life.
Used to drive in, go to a little coffee shop across the street from the stadium. On arrival, Gifford would always be there with the coffee already in the container, a seeded roll, and butter.
Nothing has changed. You can always count on Frank, by golly.
Second down, 18. Ball 40-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Good defensive play. Toomey. Manning. Galbraith. Down inside the 30. Oh, third down and 8.
What a show Galbraith is giving you folks tonight. What a receiver he is.
He is put together. The thighs, his thighs are like 34 inches. Man, that's just unbelievable.
5 receptions. Galbraith tonight, 87 yards. Big play, I feel personally, for Manning right here. 28-14, they lead. They could get it in. They would put Oakland in an entirely different situation. Quarterback draw, I believe it was, and Dave Pear was all over Manning.
He sure was. That's exactly what they were trying to do, Frank. They had the middle linebackers out of the middle. They try to split those two guys up front. Dave Pear's too big, too strong.
And out comes Rick Partridge, presumably to punt. Had Russell Erxleben, their #1 draft pick, great place kicker from Texas, been available. Of course, he's been out most of the season. They might be tempted to go for a field goal from this range. It's probably out of your Permian's area. Whistle had blown before the ball was snapped. Lester Hayes made a move on Partridge. And Oakland says they want timeout. So we have 11:06 remaining in the third quarter. 4th down for New Orleans when we return to the Superdome in a moment.
Do you know us? When we flew the first balloon across...
Oakland apparently concerned as to what were the real intentions of the New Orleans Saints. Called timeout. They discussed it, and Partridge remains in the game, punting position. Howard Matthews in just a short safety as he is anticipating Partridge's angle for the corner. And he's hit a beauty.
Oh, man, did he ever.
Which is exactly why Dick knows for that play. Because he doesn't believe that Yepremian any longer has the range to have kicked a field goal from there, which is why Shula dropped Garrow and kept the rookie from Oklahoma, Ubi van Schamen.
But it also did raise some questions because you're sitting there on the 32-yard line and you can play a lot of the armchair quarterbacks. You say, well, now, and that's why I think Oakland called timeout, because I think they were confused too.
Yep.
This Partridge, he's got to be a bargain, man. They picked him up for basically nothing.
And look where Stabler is.
Stabler inside his own 3-yard line. Van Egan muscles it out over the 5, close to the 7-yard line for a gain of about 4, where it'll be 2nd and 6. Derek Jensen rather than Van Egan carrying the ball, and an injured New Orleans Saint is down.
Price, I believe, Frank.
Alex
Price.
Well, they did what they wanted to do. They just nailed him back in there.
That's exactly right.
Let them have the ball, but they got an awful long way to go, and more than likely, it's going to take them a good while to do that. They haven't just been blowing them away.
Price remains on the artificial turf. We'll be back in a moment. Price appears to be all right. We looked at a replay. It appeared as if he had been hit by his own teammate, Ken Bordelon.
That's pretty creative.
That certainly is.
At the grade school level.
2nd down, 6. Eric Jensen, 31, and Mark Van Egan. The elephant backfield pair, if you will.
You just won't be a nice guy, will you?
Van Egan.
All right.
And Van Egan close to a 1st down.
Very pretty piece of work.
Not bad.
No flag thrown on that play.
We will get a measurement as Van Egan up very close to a 1st down, out around the 13-yard line. I believe he has it.
Going to be close. Little trivia question for you two guys. Who was the guy that led the AFC in rushing before Earl Campbell came into the league?
Before Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
Led the AFC in rushing.
It's a good question, isn't it?
How about Mark Van Egan?
You devil, you knew all along. Oh, Frank. That's right. That is right.
I got one for you.
All right.
How do you keep a turkey in suspense?
Do you know that one, Howard?
I'll tell you later.
I got a different answer for that one, and now is not the place.
Okay.
1st and 10. Jensen with the 17-yard line. Derek Jensen.
Well, if you really want to play trivia, the New Orleans Saints have 3 guys who were the MVP in the Sugar Bowl down here at one time in their collegiate careers.
Archie Manning.
That's one of them.
Second down, 5. Ball at the 18-yard line. Remember, they started from inside their own 3. Van Egan.
And
20-yard line, and it's Fetterspiel.
I told you about Fetterspiel. He is
good. I'm certainly not putting Fetterspiel down at all. I think he's doing a great job and in a real key position in this type of defense. You see, once again, it's very hard to get a guy out to block him. The whole design of the flex is to keep those guards and center off of him and let him go do it. He did a good job about that time.
As I've said before, Kentucky turns out a lot of tough kids.
Yep.
LeMaster of the Eagles, another example. Linebacker.
3rd and 2. Stabler with play action. Picked off. Borderline. Touchdown, New Orleans.
Kenny knows. Under terrible pressure, he released the ball when he shouldn't have.
He got hit when he did it, too.
Ken Bordelon, who played his collegiate football here at LSU. Second interception this season, and it puts the Saints up another touchdown.
Little play action fake. You'll see coming from the outside. Man, they just really put a good one on him. That was Bennett. Barry Bennett got there. Kenny got off very slowly and is walking off the sideline. I think you're right. He tried to force it a little bit. This oftentimes happens. He knows he got to get him there. There's a little pressure. You see him try to move. He's trying to get it away.
Desperation.
Just desperation.
Well, that was a pretty good interception. Bordelon went way up in the air to get it.
Good athlete, Frank. Really a good all-around athlete. He had a bruised knee earlier in the game, was out for a few plays. Obviously, the bruise feels better now.
Yeah, Premian on a very busy night. And New Orleans leads the Raiders 35-14. We have about half the third quarter remaining. We'll be back in a moment. Jim Plunkett, who has not seen much action thus far this year for Oakland. 7 of 15, 1 touchdown and an interception, is warming up on the sideline. You saw Stabler shake it up. And we don't know whom we'll see at quarterback at this moment for Oakland. Gary Premian set to kick. Hiram Matthews takes it at the 8-yard line.
Got some room over there.
And Matthews out to the 38-yard line. Good return by Matthews.
Kenny's coming back.
Stabler back into the ball game. Tell you quickly, tonight and every night, as long as the situation in Iran remains critical, ABC News will present a special report. And they'll do it every night after your local late news. ABC News will keep you up to date on the Iranian situation and all the news weeknights on the World News Tonight.
It's interesting. Plunkett came in, went back out.
Van Egan and Whittington, the setbacks now. Van Egan gets the call, and Van Egan runs into a peck of trouble in the form of Don Reese. Big number 74, Derland Moore. Line of scrimmage, that's it, 2nd and 10.
There are a number of things at play here tonight. A, New Orleans' quest for a playoff berth. B, the fans, for the first time after so many long years, seeing that they have a fine football franchise and team in this city. And C, it's the NFC against the AFC. More on that in a moment.
2nd down, long. Stabler again with time. Hits Branch. Branch has the first down at the 49-yard line of New Orleans. Eric Felton defensively, but that ball thrown on a line.
Kenny Denlinger of the Washington Post wrote a piece just the other day on the overwhelming superiority of the AFC in interconference competition. He's not the first to have done it. Bill Wallace of the Times did it in New York. But they were 31-11 going into this weekend, the AFC. Atlanta shocked, stunned San Diego, and New Orleans is doing it.
On 1st and 10. Casper with a leaping catch for another first down. Close to the 38-yard line. Fetterspiel there defensively, along with Eric Felton.
I get the feeling, Frank, that what they're really doing is they're trying to protect against the deep ones. We saw this kind of openness by the receivers in the first series of downs. Actually, that's Fettersfield pretty close to Casper in there, but the secondary guys are really getting deep. They don't want him to hit them quick with a bomb. Get back in there. You know, another thing about Oakland, they don't play very well on the road. They've only won one game this year. They beat Denver on the road. The rest of them they've lost.
That's true, and they have never been a good team, as I noted at the start of the game, on artificial turf.
Stabler peering over intently. They marked the ball to the 39-yard line. It's inches short of a first down, so it'll be second and inches.
But realistically, 3 Stabler turnovers, the intercept by Felton, the intercept by Bordelon, and then the fumble, and that's the margin of difference. 3 New Orleans touchdowns resulted. So it remains essentially a game of mistakes.
That little punt that they tried on the 32-yard line looks good right now, too.
It really does.
Yeah.
But I still think Garrow can kick 40 yards.
Second and inches. Van Egan, huge gaping hole, and Van Egan down to the 29-yard line. Erlen Moore defensively for New Orleans, along with Tom Myers.
I think, Gifford, we should congratulate, in effect, a colleague of yours, a man at University of Southern California, Mr. Charles White, on winning the Heisman Trophy today. What a year he's had.
He had a great year, and congratulate him, frankly, for surviving it. Carrying the ball some 30 times. Also, congratulations to another great athlete, Billy Sims, who was second in the balloting. On 1st and 10, and Branch does not hold on deep.
He had
Hit
it.
there by Clarence Chapman, and I'll tell you, Chapman, he has put some poundage on out there tonight.
But again, Cliff had it. Look at it isolated, Dandy.
Well, you know, once again, Howard, look, you don't see anybody. He's got man coverage. And that was just a real good close by Chapman. He saw the ball was thrown, put his shoulder down, and drove through the receiver. Cliff just couldn't hold on to it.
Second down, 10. 6:08 remaining in the third quarter. Greg Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith.
About that.
A lot of excitement. The sellout here in the Superdome in New Orleans. Stabler over the middle to Casper.
Fettersfield again.
All right, they're in there.
They'll mark that all the way back up to the 23-yard line for a gain of about 5. It'll be 3rd and 5. It's Fettersfield, who really, I think he's played super for the last 7 years, but under Dick Nolan's use of the flex, which is so similar to the Dallas Cowboys and Tom Landry's flex, well, you keep that middle linebacker fairly free.
He really does love it, Frank. That's
keep
what
the guys off him, and he must enjoy it.
I remember when Tom set up the 4-3 defense and kept a fella named Huff fairly free. Made him a superstar.
He probably did that in the back of the car when you're all driving into work.
Exactly right.
3rd and 5. Oh, and a pass that should have been caught by Booker Russell.
And you add insult to injury, just knock him down after it's all over. You know, you guys
Tabor also went down.
Yeah. That was a little tough. That was Derek Ramsey, number 84 over there. Wide open, Kenny kind of just bangs it in there, hit him right in the bad spot. Didn't catch it with his hands, let it go on through to his stomach.
Had the first down.
So on 4th down and down 35 to 14. Oakland leaves the offensive unit on. Branch split to the left. Casper lined up in a short wingback. Raymond Chester's the tight end.
He's got him open. Come on now, Kenny, right there.
Casper has the first down at the 15.
He moved out of that pocket a little bit, had to. They had him pretty well covered on the initial timing of that pattern. Kenny moved a little bit to the outside. You'll see how Dave Casper moves around on the other side, just keeps running. And he picked him up the first down. That was a big 4th down. Fettersfield, Frank, you were talking about, he's reading it now, dropping back into the other side. He sees Casper coming across. Really not too effective. If you can throw in between those linebackers, that's what you try to get the quarterback to do. Don't try to throw that thing hard right by him.
Casper's 6th reception of the night, 48th of the season. On 1st and 10. Stabler wants Branch.
Oh, good.
And good defensive play back there.
Hey, that man made a
Clarence Chapman again.
That kid is having some night.
Great recovery because they had him beat. Branch went down, ran a little zig-out route. Chapman goes to the inside. You're not going to see the pattern that much, but again, Kenny had some time to throw. But look at him close right here. Went into that outside arm. Didn't bump into him, knocked it away.
I'll tell you, that's a good play by Chapman because Cliff Branch had put a strong move to the inside. Chapman took it and then was still able to recover. 2nd and 10. Top of your screen. Again, it's Branch. Branch on a little delay underneath. Chapman misses the tackle, but he sends Branch spinning down to about the 8-yard line. We're going to be 3rd and 4.
It's a broad gap now, 21 points, but you've got to admit, folks, there's no quitting Oakland and no quitting Stabler.
No, they can have a lot of things happen, as they say. Ed Beard, the linebacker coach that Dick Nolan brought with him from San Francisco 49ers there on the sideline.
A lot of his cronies around him. Eddie Hughes, whom he played with the Giants.
Yep, he's married to his sister.
He's his offensive coordinator.
Paul Wiggins is a good one, too, as they drive home.
Whittington, he got down low, and I don't think they even could see him.
Oh, that's right. He had his nose to the ground.
He just was scooting along. You know, Arthur Whittington was named to the SMU's all-decade team. Are you ready for that? From 1970-79. But he made it as a kickoff return guy. He couldn't beat out Alvin Maxson and Morris, quarterback.
Did you make the all-decade team of the 60s?
I made it in Mount Vernon in the 50s. I was big in Mount Vernon.
Whittington went off limping slightly. He had missed 7 weeks earlier this year with a sore ankle. 1st and goal, Oakland. Van Egan, touchdown, Oakland.
Looked pretty easy. All right.
I like that young man, Tom Flores.
You know, he is a good
composed guy.
Yeah.
He keeps control of himself.
He has, as far as the records go, he threw for 407 yards one time as a quarterback for these Oakland Raiders, and Kenny Stabler has yet to match that particular yardage production. 2nd on the all-time list, so he's a good quarterback for him. Stepped in, and a really kind of an unusual situation. Out there, they're building, transition period. And tough one, but I think he's held his composure very well.
Jim Breach for the conversion. And Oakland draws closer. They're within 2 touchdowns with 3:01 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 35-21, the Saints.
Like it or not.
With 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter, Oakland to kick off. New Orleans, perhaps a little prematurely, anticipating an onside kick. 2 men deep, 9 men up close. Breach hits it. Rich Monty from the 5-yard line. And Monty after the 27-yard line. Derek Jensen down there defensively for Oakland. Marking at the 28. It'll be 1st and 10 for the New Orleans Saints, who had better not get too comfortable with their 2-touchdown lead.
You're right. This is like a prize fight. They have to reestablish now their offense.
I think that your analogy of prize fight's quite good. I'm somewhat partial to quarterbacks, but I think Stabler had a good chance if he wanted to stay on the canvas. After his interception, when he was hurt slightly, we saw Plunkett warm up. Plunkett even thought he was going to play. Somebody start. They look out there. Stabler's back in there and takes him down and scores.
Chandler split to the left. The motion man, Ike Harris. Archie Manning, I believe, might have missed a hand.
I think he did, Frank.
And nevertheless, he takes it out to the 30-yard line for a gain of about 7. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Broken play, and he made it work.
Just trying to get a quick handout in there. And let's see what happened. I believe he was going to miss that handoff. Going to be a fumble, and luckily he didn't. You see Galbraith come back to pick up the fumble. Archie says, wait a minute, I'm going to slide in here safe. Going to pick me up about 5 or 6, maybe 7, and try it again.
Did a very heady thing. You know, he knew where the block was, turned right behind it, got good yardage.
Yeah, you got to get the heads together.
It's either heady or out of stark terror. Muncie.
Whoa.
Oh, good block by the G-man, Emmanuel Sanders, and Muncie gets a first down out over the 40-yard line.
The first we've heard of him for a while.
Emmanuel Sanders with a big block for Muncie.
There's a good, what's what you call a good old boy from Kentucky. Mr. Fettersfield.
The extra.
We're talking about, you got J.T. Taylor, 71 over there. You got some Good blocks out in front. That's Henry Childs doing some blocking. And then look at Muncy. He just says, I'm going to come throw 235 pounds at you.
They just can't stop him.
From the Saints 41-yard line and behind Ike Harris, incomplete.
Yeah, and Archie knows it. He had him open across the middle in there, and he says, that one was just behind you, Ike. You know, sometimes there's a... That's pretty good. Oh, man.
Bob Uecker is upset.
I've got to meet Bob Uecker one of these days. I don't even know that guy.
You know, psychiatrists have a field day as to why all these chickens are breaking out all over.
Well, it's which came first, the chicken
I'm not
or the
asking
egg?
for letters or explanation.
No.
Just an observation.
Yeah, that's true.
Everywhere you go. 2nd and 10. Manning wanted Childs. He was covered, and Manning's going down. John Matuzak defensively in there for the Raiders.
They had Childs coming across covered, Frank, and they also had Ike Harris covered going deep. So it was good defensive coverage in that secondary. Really basically man-to-man coverage back there, too.
First sack of the night for Archie Manning. Only his 13th of the season.
Things getting interesting. We're still in the 3rd quarter. Very big play for New Orleans.
Oakland adjusts now, anticipating the pass from Archie Manning. 3rd down, 17. The ball marked inside their own 34-yard line. Ike Harris split to the right. Top of your screen is Wes Chandler. Chuck Muncy. And he's pulled down defensively. Rod Martin there for Oakland, and New Orleans will have to turn it over.
Rod, good play by Martin. We saw him on a kind of delayed blitz earlier in the ball game come in and force a bad throw.
You understand the call?
Pardon me?
You understand the call?
Well, I think I think what they're saying is we've got to stop them sometime, and they don't want it to go be on turnover, so they're going to rely on this punter again to kick that thing off. They're not really waiting to change the
Partridge. Beautiful high punt. Matthews should have made the fair catch, but he got a little help from his pal there, Mike Davis, to save it.
He better be glad Davis is there, because that'd have been another big one, Frank.
Rich Maudie is down there hustling for the special unit team for the New Orleans Saints to get to Ira Matthews. Here it is again. Little chancy.
Maudie is the guy that's the leader of this group. He's been the headhunter, or whatever you want to call it, on their special teams for a couple of years. He set a record a year ago for tackles on special teams for 27 unassisted tackles.
What he also does too, Don, every time he makes a tackle, he donates $10 to the American Cancer Society. He's had a personal tragedy in his own life. Every time he runs a punt back or kickoff back, he gives $1 for every yard he gains.
And he asked the folks in this area to match him, and they've raised a lot of money. You're right, Frank. He does a heck of a job.
That was Van Egan. As we get close to the end of the 3rd quarter, Van Egan gets 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4 when we come back. It's the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll return for the 4th quarter in a moment. Tuesday. Derek Ramsey, 84. Casper, 87.
Look at that.
Whittington, huge hole. And Whittington out to the 48-yard line, and Oakland 1st down.
Things grow curiouser and curiouser. Remember our next 2 games. Next Monday night, Pittsburgh at Houston. And then the Monday night after that, for all the marbles in the Western Division AFC, Denver against San Diego.
And I will be there for that one to wrap it up. That's going to be a good one. I'm going to miss that Pittsburgh-Houston game. I'm sorry about that.
Pittsburgh 11-3. Houston 10-4. As they battle for first place in that wild Central Division of the AFC. On 1st and 10. Play action by Stabler.
Look at that mobility now. Who said he couldn't run?
That was an early hit by number 27, Ray Brown, on Dave Casper. And the flags are down.
That's exactly right. And in the meantime, Kenny has not gotten off the big bomb tonight. Let's look at this again.
Well, he had to move out of the pocket a little bit. You see again a pattern adjustment by Casper. And Ray Brown comes in, hits him a little early. Ray Brown, the Saints got from Atlanta. He was drafted in the 6th round like in 71. He's played in 123 straight games. Ray Brown, another durable character.
Tony Galva. What a night he's in.
Automatic first, the ball at the 45-yard line.
Booker.
For Russell, and Russell is down close to the 35 for another first down. Might be inches short.
Just 2 points. Kenny, who could go for the bomb at any time, has not connected for it tonight. And Wes Chandler, incredibly, has not caught a single pass. Caught one, but was ruled out of bounds.
I was going to bring that up as being very curiouser and curiouser, too, because he has not
one of those
figured in the game, and New Orleans yet has moved the ball very well.
Well, neither team has been able to, neither defensive team has been able to stop the offense. That's how we've got 56 points on the board.
Chester and Ramsey are the two tight ends. Whittington gets the call. Nifty little bit of maneuvering there to get down to the 31-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be second down, or rather, that's gives them the first down at the 31.
But Frank, Oakland, despite 3 critical mistakes, turnovers that produced 3 quick New Orleans touchdowns, the mistakes haven't given New Orleans perfect field position in touchdown territory, Oakland has not panicked. And you got to credit Tom Flores for that and Kenny Stabler.
Absolutely.
Stabler, Branch, first down inside the 20.
Now that's pretty, isn't it? That's just like automatic. Quick, quick. There he goes. Stepped out of bounds. Got him a big first down.
I don't think I have ever seen, as we look at Branch isolated, Don.
Well, he's got Eric Felton, who's a second-year guy, and he's certainly seen and heard a lot about Cliff Branch. He's not going to give him a lot of time. He's giving him too much space to run over there. And I would imagine Kenny's fouled that back in there, and he'll come back and use it again. They're playing off of him on those corners pretty far.
Branch out to the right. The first down is at the 17-yard line. Ramsey's intended. He's
all
open.
alone.
How do you like this?
All alone. We got ourselves a good one.
Oh, what a ball game this is turning out to be.
Derek Ramsey, touchdown, Stabler.
We emphasize again, Stabler shaken up. Apparently out of the game. Plunkett going in for him. And Stabler insisting on going back.
Well, we saw this Oakland Raider team set a scoring record for Monday Night Football when they hit 45 against San Diego on a Thursday night. And this one is not over yet, as they say. Somebody said that before, haven't they? Wide open, though. Again, they're really picking that secondary apart. The defensive teams, there's a reason, I guess, why they're so far down in those standings. Maybe those statistics do mean something.
The tight ends for Oakland have caught well over 100 passes. Ramsey, Casper, and Chester. This is Breach. And Oakland draws within a touchdown and a conversion of tying this game up. And watch Derek Ramsey doing a little Baryshnikov in the end zone to keep the feet in.
Well, this Derek Ramsey's a guy that we don't hear a lot of, and it's primarily because the guys that they have out there in front of him. But he did a good job. He had that thing in there, and he's certainly had that drill before. How you keep it in there.
12:51 remaining in this game. Don't go away.
Hey, truckers, Dodson's gonna pick.
12:51 remaining in the fourth quarter. Breach will kick deep. Rich Maudie along with Wes Chandler. Build along the ground. This is Chandler. Or rather, Rich Maudie, who picked it up, and a flag is down. First time in his career, he came within 56 yards of it a year ago. And what many considered a bad season for Stabler, that he got over the 3,000-yard mark for the first time.
Well, as we wait the call on this penalty.
That's just the kind you need to set them.
You mentioned during the break that to you, New Orleans is beginning to play a little bit tentatively, and you said being a young team, they have to learn how to win. I think that's a very valid comment.
Well, I think they do. I was talking to Dick Nolan yesterday. You realize that Dick Nolan in a year and a half, a little over a year and a half, has won more ball games than any coach down here. And
personal foul, flipping on number 27 on the kick return team. First down.
Rebound.
The point is that they've never learned to win. They've always had losing seasons. They've never had a winning season. If they go into the playoffs, they would, and assuming that Tampa does too, that'd be the first team that ever goes from a losing season into the playoff the next year. So they've got to learn those things. And it sounds silly, but it's true.
First and 10. Archie Manning, his own 14-yard line. Tony Galbraith. And Galbraith out over the 15 to the 17. Gain of 5. It'll be second and 5. What New Orleans needs now
They got to move
big
the
play.
ball.
They
That's
need
right.
a big play to restore the confidence that they had when they took the field tonight.
I said Kenny hadn't thrown the bomb. You can't call a 17-yard touchdown pass a bomb. But while Oakland normally operates in passing in the 14 to 17-yard range, they've not been doing that tonight. Kenny went to it on the 17-yard of the Rams.
Second down. Chandler split to the left. And he will put it in the air. Fires incomplete. Pat Toomey. And Reggie Kinlaw pursuing Manning.
Must remember, if Archie can't pull out a first down on this third down play, you can expect good field position for Oakland and the way Stabler is operating. I was about to say earlier, Giff, I don't think for a given series of plays I ever saw greater quarterbacking than after Benny Malone had scored a touchdown for Miami to put the Dolphins ahead in the playoff game. Stabler engineered that drive that led to the waffle pass caught by Clarence Davis that brought Oakland the victory.
That was a good one.
Four-man front, third and long for New Orleans. 5 defensive backs in. Monty Johnson, lone linebacker for Oakland. Pat Toomey right in the face.
And he got a penalty.
Archie Manning, and a flag goes down.
And that's what they needed, Frank, is some kind of something to get it going. You don't say needed. What?
Holding, and it's going to go against New Orleans. I think Archie Manning thought, as you did, Don, he was going to get a roughing the passer call.
I did, too. I really thought that's what it was.
Actually, just a super play by Toomey.
Yes, it was. And suddenly, 21 points ahead, New Orleans in deep trouble.
Well, you can kind of sense, if you listen to this crowd, that something's happening. Here's Toomey, number 67, coming in. He throws the ball. It's not a roughing penalty. His motion has started toward the quarterback before, and as he was releasing that ball.
You can see why quarterbacks have recurring nightmares.
Yeah.
Rick Partridge to punt on fourth down. Ira Matthews for Oakland, standing at his 45-yard line. Not a good kick. And it goes out of bounds about the 43-yard line. So Oakland, down by a touchdown, will have good field position, and Stabler is hot. Kenny Stabler to the fat one. His head coach, Tom Flores, a former Oakland Raider quarterback, moves out to the huddle, and you sense that the momentum has dramatically changed. Stabler on the night, 23 of 37, 221 yards. But there's been an ebb and flow in this game of momentum, and it's with Oakland at the moment. Van Egan surging over the 45 for a gain of a couple. It'll be second down and 8.
Obviously, you've heard so many millions of times how important first down is. Obviously, Oakland wanted more than that. But yet, you can see the composure of this, the most consistently winning team in pro football over the last 10 years.
Second down, 8. Stabler flooding his backs left, trying to get single coverage, jumps it off to Whittington. Whittington out of bounds.
Good job by Eric Feldman that time. He had him covered. You saw him try to strip the ball away, which he did. Then he says, well, maybe they think he caught it, and there's a fumble. I'll just pick it up.
That's true.
So it'll be third down and 8.
Whittington has a tendency to catch the football and then when hit, give it up. I think that may be said off tonight's evidence.
Some pretty sophisticated football fans here in New Orleans. They see their special pass defensive unit come on the field. They start to cheer. They know this is a big play for New Orleans. They're on their feet.
That's a big sack by Ron
Reese.
They couldn't get him out of there. If we get a look at that again, you'll see that the blocker could not get him out of there.
Well, you're coming over on the top of your screen. You see they're working on him. That's Art Shell, and he just got a little more speed than Art. Came right around. And that is something. That put him back in there. Third down and big.
You push Art Shell out of the way that way, you are doing some kind of job, to use that old cliche.
Neutralized his strength and his speed got around him.
Great guy. This is Rich Money for New Orleans. At his 11-yard line.
Slipped down.
Good kick,
Gets it to the 20-yard line. Down there to cover Rufus Bess. And Ray Guy appears to have injured something. Limping off. We'll be back.
When you shoot a lot of pulling bars, you want to stay fast and loose. And you don't want to get filled up. That's what.
It appears to me that Ray Guy just messed up his rhythm a little bit. The stride, you'll see right there, goes down in pain. You don't know. I thought he slipped when I saw him kick the ball, but basically it looked like to me, you see him on the sideline. Don't know what happened, but it was not his usual stride and the fluid that he motions that he usually kicks with. So first down on the 20, Frank.
New Orleans, and they need desperately to get something happening offensively. Their defense has risen to the occasion. This is Chuck Muncie, and he can make it happen rather fast.
He really can. Didn't look like he was going to get anything there. He got almost 6. And the Saints must reestablish offensive drive here for their sake. This is only their 4th possession, Frank, in the second half.
Muncie gets it out to the 25. The word on Guy is slight twist in the ankle. As you can see, he did not have a trainer working with him. We expect him to be back if he's needed. 2nd and 5. Ike Harris in motion. The reverse. Oh! And Reggie Kinlaw just fell right into it more than anything else.
He really did, Frank. They had the wrong play for that defense. There was, well, you don't want Ike Harris hurt.
Reggie Kinlaw collided with him head on. He was going for the passer, Archie Manning, and he just ran into Ike Harris. Let's look. Well, he sees it.
Yeah, I would say that Dobler probably missed an assignment there, too. You saw Dobler blocking down on the middle guy.
Oh.
Whoa, that's knee.
I hate that. Ike Harris, who came for the Cardinals a year ago, and that was he really was twisted under Kinlaw there. Remind you, ABC Sports this Saturday. NCAA college football live, 1:30 Eastern time. Division II championship, Youngstown State versus Delaware. Division I AA semifinals, Lehigh versus Murray State. The University of Nevada, Reno versus Eastern Kentucky. Also ABC's Wide World of Sports, 5 o'clock Eastern and Pacific, 4 o'clock Central. World Cup Boxing, World Gymnastics Championships, all over most of these ABC stations.
As we look at the mascot for the Saints, who's obviously enjoying something, I must tell you, Frank, the viewers will see a kid named Jackie Beard. They'll see a kid named Tucker, another named Steeples. Kids who are unknown now, the way Sugar Ray Leonard, now a world champion, was unknown in 1976. And Howard Davis and the rest of that great boxing team. America has built, with brilliant coaching, as I said, by Pat Nappy, again the coach in the forthcoming Moscow Olympics, a similar kind of team. They could win many gold medals. You'll enjoy the show.
Ike Harris being taken from the field. 3rd down and 11. They marked the ball where Kinlaw and Harris collided on progress. Manning, Galbraith, first down.
Wow.
Out to the 33-yard line. Charles Phillips defensively, but Manning right on target to the sure-handed Galbraith.
Got to give him a lot of credit there, because that, to me, was a crucial one. You can also sense it in this stadium. The crowd was just silent. 3rd down and 11, maybe 12. Archie comes back, gets fairly good protection. Big Phil Yaw's coming right there at him, or Matuzak, I guess it was. Calmly hit Galbraith. This guy is a heck of a all-around purpose back.
He's a remarkable receiver. For a back coming out of the backfield, just remarkable. Except for that one brilliant touchdown catch by Henry Childs. The key receptions tonight have been made by Galbraith.
Marty in the ball game, a wide receiver. The handoff goes to Muncie.
Couldn't turn the corner.
Muncie right at the line of scrimmage.
Nobody's perfect.
That's right. They had a good game if they could have. They stacked up again. Rod Martin's playing a good game. He's an exceptionally good athlete. Those linebacker corps for the Oakland Raiders are all really good. We've through the years, have mentioned all of them a number of times, with Rod Martin, Villapiano, Johnson. Got a good group in
Hendricks.
there. Yep, and don't forget the old Crane.
2nd and 10.
Oops.
Muncy. Ball slightly behind him. He could not hold on. Rod Martin there covering. And while Ike Harris is on the bench, he limped off the field with assistance. We have Rich Maudie in at wide receiver, who only has 2 receptions on the year. His Ike Harris had 3 super years with the Cardinals before coming to the Saints last year along with Conrad Dobler.
So Archie faces another critical 3rd down. But should they fail to make the 1st down, this time when they punt, Oakland won't have that sweet field position they had early.
Wes Chandler still without a reception for New Orleans. Intended for
They do now.
Muncy.
All right, what an
Picked off.
interception.
Picked off by Rufus Bess, a rookie free agent
From South Carolina State. How they can produce them at that school.
Well, wait a minute. Now, somebody missed something over here on the right side. You see, there's a lot of pressure coming in over there. On the left side, the ball was thrown late, trying to force the ball. Good coverage by Best. Muncy's out there on the pattern. Well, there you go. What kind of field position they have now?
So nice. 44-yard line. Stabler with the hot hand.
That broke Archie's interception string, or lack of interceptions.
Whittington piled up defensively. Again, it's Don Reese. He's playing a whale of a game tonight. A gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Remember on their last series, when again they had good field position, though not quite as good as now, Stabler called basically the same play, and he got himself in a hole. Now, quickly, with only a yard, he's in a hole. 7:25 remaining.
Second down, 9 for Stabler. Inside handoff, Whittington gets a block from Booker Russell and moves down to the 38-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 4, up into there by Alex Price.
What would you do here, Dandy?
Well, I think really right now, in this situation, he's in a zone where he can run twice if he wants
He's
to.
got 4th down territory.
Yeah, he's got a lot of opportunities to do things out there. Considering that the Saints really are the weakest team against the run, I don't think he'd be bad by running Van Egan a couple of times.
Seesaw battle. The Saints up by 7 points. At one point, they were up by 21 before the end of the first half, and Russell gets the 1st down. Down to about the 32-yard line.
Yeah, and if Van Egan's not in there, give it to Russell. Yeah, Booker, either one of them. They'll take it. Big back right there, Booker Russell.
Archie Manning knew that he was late with that last pass that was picked off by Rufus Bess.
That's an interesting graphic.
Well, a lot of it goes back to they've only trapped him 12 times coming to this ball game tonight. A lot of things really figure into that interception deal.
Stabler floods his backs to the right, and then goes out to Whittington, and it's deflected.
What a nifty play by Mr. Grooms.
It was because Pat Hughes was a little bit off, a little bit further off from Whittington than he wanted to be. He had about 10 yards in between him. So it was a good shot. And if he had gotten this one out there, we haven't heard of Lois coming in there tonight for the quarterback traps. As we mentioned earlier, he leads the league, leads the team in those.
6:02 to play.
Ball at the 31-yard line, 2nd and 10. Branch, who did not start tonight, has been one of Stabler's key receivers. He's caught 5 for 53. Casper has caught 6. Stabler.
Oh, he threw a bad
Casper,
pass.
he threw a bad pass. Casper was open.
He really did, Frank. That ball just nosedived on it. Bounced out in front. He also had Booker Russell open down the middle on a delay route coming out. He had plenty of time to throw. That one was just not thrown well.
3rd down, 10.
It's not the critic, it's the man in the arena.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've thrown them just like that.
I know. That's what I meant.
That's it. Intercept.
Branch. And almost picked off in the end zone by Chapman.
Give Branch credit. for preventing that one because Chapman had it. Not a very well thrown ball, thrown very early, very deep, and really pretty good coverage. You see, Chapman has got him all the way there. Branch recognizes that, comes in and changes from an offensive receiver to a defensive back and strips him of the ball.
And on 4th down, Jim Breach comes out, 13 of 20 on the season. His long field goal, 40 yards. The holder is Dave Hom. He's the quarterback.
That's what you got to watch.
The attempt was 49.
Well,
wide to the right. And for New Orleans, possession at the 31-yard line. The line of scrimmage.
5:46 left. If New Orleans can mount any kind of drive, that could do it.
Well, it's true. You know, we've been, I think, justly giving Kenny a lot of praise tonight, but really on the last two passes were not good passes. He had an open receiver, in my opinion, with Casper, and he threw to one that was covered when he tried to hit Branch. So those were two critical plays.
Fitz Monty remains a wide receiver. Sprained knee was the word on Icarus. Muncie, he's pounded by Kinlaw. Reggie Kinlaw, the rookie from Oklahoma, 12th round draft pick, that's turned into a surprisingly fine good football player for Oakland. Comes in when they want to get into their 4-3 defense, get more of a pass pressure.
Archie has some decision-making to do.
That's true. They've got basically a fairly, look at that graphic right there, the first half and the second half. You can see whose ball game it was, when and where.
2nd down, 9. Galbraith. And Tony gets out over the 35 to the 36. Again, 3.5 yards. It'll be 3rd down, 5.
4:55 left, counting down.
It's one of those offensive plays you call and kind of hope that it goes well, because it was very safe. They're trying to be conservative, but not run the middle of the line. So it's just a little quick flare pass out to Galbraith. Say, gosh, I hope somebody misses a tackle and he can pick us up a 1st down. Not really a play with a great deal of authority.
That was Dave Browning who left off for Oakland. John Matuzak, 72, replaces him. There he is, top of your screen, Big John. 3rd and 5. Manning, a lot of time, and Galbraith is open, but he does not hold on with one hand. Rod Martin defensively, but Galbraith was open.
He really was, Frank. It was one of those, it would have been a good pass. Galbraith seems to think he should have caught it. I think, again, it could have been thrown a little bit better. He had fairly good coverage once again, but I believe that was Rod Martin that was over there.
So very quickly, with 4:21 left, Oakland will get possession. Let's see when.
Lots of time, really not even a factor at this point.
I think it's interesting that New Orleans has not been able to get a 1st down on these last couple of drives.
Rick Partridge. Ira Matthews can't get to it, and it goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10, Oakland. Don't forget, next Monday night, we'll be in the Astrodome in Houston for Pittsburgh and Houston. And then, of course, our final Monday night telecast will determine the Western Division Conference of the AFC. Denver and San Diego. In San Diego.
That's when Dandy visits that superb zoo.
I go every year. I love the San Diego
Zoo. Greatest zoo, I think.
It really is fun.
1st and 10, Oakland.
They'll play action.
On 1st down. Tries to get the screen back. It was bobbled, I believe, by Van Egan and taken by Dalby.
I love it. Dalby says there's a football in it, and I'm going to catch it.
And the statistical chart of Dalby will go down with 1 reception.
What is that now? Does that go as a reception?
A curious thing.
Sure, it's a reception. You can take it from a deflection. He couldn't, of course, not handle it with that 50 number. He gets a yard out of it. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Everyone becomes eligible once an eligible receiver touches it.
I'm glad you told me that, because I watched. Looks like Michelle's lined up in the backfield.
It's a new rule.
Complete. Cliff Branch, and what a move.
Goodbye.
Oh,
Catch him.
Goodbye.
There are no flags down.
Is that wild?
that happened fast. 3:19 still left in the game.
Cliff Branch, who was a 9.3 sprinter in his days at the University of Colorado, when he gets the running room, you can write it off. He can really motor.
Well, it was not anything fancy, just one little outside. Look at that move he put on Eric Felton. Boy.
And what a beautiful block right there. Let's see if we can get that guy's number. The man who threw the block.
Eric Felton is the second-year guy trying to recover, but this is the move right there. No way close. It was Whittington that has made that block.
That's right. Arthur Whittington. Now let's see. Breach in the kind of position he was in against Kansas City when he missed this very kick on the field goal that would have tied the game.
Actually, he was closer than this by about a yard. Maybe that threw him off. Right through the middle.
We're tied at 35 with 3:19 remaining in the game. At one point, New Orleans with a 21-point lead. Then Stabler got hot.
Good. Now I can go to bed.
Wait a minute. I want to give you your gift while we're alone. It's something just for you.
A washer and dryer.
Now, come on, will you be serious?
Okay.
Close your eyes. Merry Christmas.
Well, he used all the field he could use, too.
He's sure getting close to that white line right there, isn't he? And how about that one right there?
Good thing he stayed on his toes.
Yeah.
He got back in.
Okay.
I was talking about the move he put on Felton, which was absolutely brilliant. He knew where Felton was. He didn't even give him an odd inside, and he just totally lost Felton. Breach hits it. This is Wayne Wilson. The rookie from Shepherd gets it out to the 31-yard line. And we're all tied up, 35-35. We want to remind you again, tonight and every night, as long as the situation in Iran remains, ABC News will present a special report every night after your late local news. And ABC News will keep you up to date on the Iranian situation and all the news weeknights on World News Tonight. So stay with our ABC News team. They're doing a whale of a job.
Now let's see if Archie, Tony, and Chuck can get it back.
And they haven't used Wes Chandler all night. He has not caught a pass. He's the number one guy.
He has 59 coming into tonight's game. Chandler has not caught a ball tonight. Monty in motion. Handoff, Galbraith. Huge hole. And Galbraith, bang, out to the 40-yard line. Quick pickup with 8.5 yards. Second down and 1. Pause quickly, 5 seconds, and allow our stations all along the line to identify themselves.
33 WYTV in Youngstown, Ohio. The best things in life.
And if you were to go back, you might look at the long drive by Kenny Stabler, who had help on a pass interference call in the end zone by Eric Felton. Moved the ball with 2:18 left. The length of the field to get Oakland within 14 points. Somebody called a fumble, and this is Mike Davis.
I heard. Oh, no. How about
now
that?
This is Ted Hendricks.
I don't believe this.
Somebody was calling fumble. You saw the ball come out of the hands of Muncie. Coming up with it was Mike Davis. He got the ball downfield to Hendricks, and Oakland is threatening.
Frank, the fans here are absolutely stunned.
Well, I don't blame him. My gosh, I heard that fumble, and the fumble is trying to change hands.
And he did it by completely on his own. Nobody even hit him. He
Talk
just
about
hands in the ball.
instincts. How about this one as he's going? Oh, that's got to be they got to bring that back, haven't they?
Well, it should have been brought back, but it's being marked at the 13.
Oh, well.
Hendricks made sure, though. Look at Ted. What an incredible football game this has turned out to be. 2 minutes, 21 seconds left.
Tied at 35, and Oakland threatening. Whittington. Fettersfield made the stop, but not until Whittington had moved to the 9. A gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. First down could be accomplished at the 3-yard line. It's Ted Hendricks all of his career. Baltimore, then Green Bay, now Oakland. He's always been where the football was. Interceptions, fumble recoveries. A moment ago, he was there, Johnny on the spot.
Pretty
the lateral from Mike Davis.
He has 19 block kicks in his career, which is an NFL record, with points after touchdown, field goals, and punts.
Pretty tough sitting moment for Dick Nolan. You saw his face trying to hold himself together.
Well, we're in a very similar situation to the Rams and the Vikings yesterday, except it looks that the Raiders are in a much better position.
If they're not, you've got a scoop.
That's right, before you get into your overtime.
70 points scored in this game thus far. The most number of points ever scored on Monday Night Football. 1977, Dallas 42, the 49ers 35.
That's terrific. Now tell me, who were the other two guys that were the most valuable players in the Sugar Bowl besides Manning?
I told you Archie Manning.
Yeah, that was one. And they all play for the Saints. I'll give you one. Tennessee. Oklahoma. Tinker Owens and Bobby Scott.
Tinker Owens.
There you go.
Right.
Tinker Owens and Bobby. Yeah, there you go.
All right, here we go. Looking ahead, each team has 2 timeouts. 2nd down and 7. The ball at the 9-yard line. The setbacks are Derek Jensen, 31, Mark Van Egan, 30. Van Egan, line of scrimmage, surges forward close to the 8-yard line, hit there by Ray Brown, who plays safety like a linebacker.
Do you think
heading to the 2-minute warning? And there it is. 2 minutes remaining to be played. Tied at 35. Both teams, 2 timeouts. We'll be back in a moment. Stabler. Cliff Branch, touchdown. Cliff Branch was spectacular. He was, well, I won't say benched, but he did not start tonight, but he has been the determining factor for Oakland here in the second half.
He certainly has, and Stabler with him, and what a remarkable comeback. This team that held its poise. I go back to what Dandy said earlier. This team knows how to win. The young New Orleans team must learn how to win.
I do think it's one of those intangibles that sounds really hokey, but you do have to learn how to do it. A good move by Branch, but the ball was drilled right in there between the 2 and the 1. Very crucial third situation, 3rd and 5. So now they've given New Orleans something to really shoot for.
Breach, relief etched on his face. That's good. And the Raiders have taken the lead for the first time tonight, 42-35.
Coming from the outside, that's working on Clarence Chapman. Into the inside, they just couldn't keep him out of it. The ball was well thrown, a good route going to the inside.
Far from over, 1:54 remaining. Archie Manning will have a couple of timeouts to work with.
Lester Hayes hugging Cliff Branch. Stabler.
You know, you get the feeling that Stabler, when they brought Branch into this game tonight, said, well, I'm going to get Branch off the hook. He's been a great receiver for me for many years, and sure enough, he's been going to Branch all night long. He's been going to him deep in the end zone. He went to him in the end zone 3 different times, and Branch has really come through for him.
I think, Frank, you know, when you see that 2 tight end situation, that's part of it. Branch is, see there by your card, has caught 7 for 126 tonight. That's a heck of a game for any receiver.
Did you see any question about whether Branch got into the end zone or not?
No.
I didn't either. I thought he was in.
Yeah, he's right there.
Now, on the previous one, there might be a question as to whether he went out of bounds, but it's over. Forget it.
Breach. Kicks off. Taken there by Wayne Wilson. And Wayne Wilson gave the crowd a bit of a thrill as it looked like he was going to break it off, but he's dropped it to 30.
There's Cliff. Okay. Give the credit to Arthur on the block. That's what he's doing.
That's right. And that's nice because Arthur didn't throw a good block for him to spring him over there.
Meantime, it's not over yet.
Branch has scored his 48th and 49th career touchdowns tonight. That's rather remarkable because he's only playing in his 8th year.
Archie's got 1:47 left.
And 2 timeouts from his own 30-yard line. Galbraith is being dueled there with number 53, Rod Martin, incomplete.
Archie, except for that one remarkable throw and equally remarkable catch by Henry Childs, hasn't succeeded with the bomb either tonight.
Nobody threw some good balls in the first half. The second half has just been really a mistake-ridden sort of half as you see him mark off 10 more yards against New Orleans. And you don't make mistakes like that. You wonder why you know, you say that.
Especially when you look back, they scored
Offensive
first.
holding, number 65. First down.
Robert Woods holding. It'll be first down and 20. That's the story on the clock.
Remember, Frank, they scored first in this half, built their lead up to 21 points, and then Oakland shut them off.
Twice they've led by 21. But Stabler, 4 touchdowns on the night, 3 in this fourth quarter. Manning, Galbraith, incomplete.
I don't really understand those routes. He's sending five guys out. Childs goes deep. He's got Muncie kind of trying to go deep. He must be just trying to work some patterns in it. That was a first down and 20, so maybe he's trying to pick up half of it. But you've got a game breaker on your side. I think that's important. Wes Chandler, we've talked about him a couple of times tonight.
Incredible the way he's been shut off. In the meantime, these fans dreaming of a playoff spot, so elated when they were 21 points ahead, the game seemingly in the bag. In a state of absolute shock, and you've got to feel for them.
Didn't work.
Inside toss to Muncie. That did not fool a whole lot of folks.
Good
hit there by Monty Johnson. After a gain of about 3, it'll be third down and 18.
Assuming that they do lose this game tonight, it puts a great deal of pressure on their game next week against an extremely good team that was upset yesterday.
Will be out for blood because they've got to hang in there with Denver, San Diego.
Absolutely.
And then there's Los Angeles to be met.
They could get by losing one of these two and then face Los Angeles in the final game.
New Orleans has called timeout.
The San Diego,
one timeout.
The San Diego game next week, from San Diego's viewpoint, as I have indicated earlier, will not change the net effect of the Denver game for San Diego.
No,
but for
true.
San Diego, it's a matter of a great deal of pride and self-respect. That team had come so strongly, had ripped the Steelers 35-7, and to be upset by Atlanta, which has had a difficult year, and especially by an NFC team, they'll be loaded for bad.
Now these guys right now are what you call in trouble. Third down and almost, I'd say 17 or 18 yards to go. So you know they're going to try 2 tries at it, and they may go into the middle again, try to pick up half of it this time, and try to hit 2 in a row. If they don't, it's going to be too bad.
Archie wanted a little guidance, moved over to the sidelines, talked with Dick Nolan. I'm sure offensive coordinator Ed Hughes. Third down 18. This is what they decided.
Went too high.
Incomplete, intended for Monty. And now it brings up fourth down with 1:18 on the clock. Oakland with 31 first downs tonight. New Orleans 18, an NFL record there. 38 by Los Angeles against the Giants in 1966.
Got a feel for Dick Nolan, too, who overall has done a really fine coaching job this year.
His record, though, is 7-7.
But in this topsy-turvy league this year, he's not out of it yet. No what?
Just getting closer. And old Flores is using that mathematical equation to say I'm still eligible too, so don't count me out either.
They're thinking about 2 losses, one to Kansas City, one to the Jets.
One timeout for New Orleans. They have a fourth down and 18. I'd say rather desperate. Stack over to the left. They'll hang it up very high, hope for the best.
And the flag goes down.
Incomplete, but again, as Don said, a flag down, line of scrimmage. That's what they call, what do they call it, Big Ben down here?
Offside
Oakland, so we'll have another shot. 1:10, one timeout.
As Roger Staubach would say, it's a Hail Mary situation.
Well, this 5 yards will help them a little bit because now they can move into more conventional sort of route. They're now trying to pick up 13 yards instead of the 18. That 5 does make a difference.
Offside on the defense, number 90.
You could look to a guy maybe like Childs coming across the middle. It appears that Oakland's going to give them certain things. They're going to try to protect against the big bomb here with 1 minute and 10 seconds to go.
Willie Jones was the eager Oakland Raider, offsides. Fourth down, 13, 1:10 remaining. New Orleans with 1 timeout. They stack up Rich Monty, Chuck Muncie, and Wes Chandler to the left. And coming in was number 90, Willie Jones.
The party.
Manning goes down. It's Oakland's football.
They say that all good things must end. Eat your heart out, you Permian. They call
Here
it
comes
tonight.
Willie Jones, the rookie from Florida State, getting away from the block of J.T. Taylor. And down goes Manning.
Too much time, though, Frank. He just, that's asking them to hold them out about 5 seconds. It's a little bit too much time. Oakland, in my opinion, just came back this second half and would not be denied. I really think the key was when you saw Kenny Stabler get up off the mat and come back and say, hey, look, this thing is not over. It's got to have an effect on the rest of the guys in that huddle. He put them together. They brought it back.
Especially when he was shaken up, apparently out of the game.
New Orleans can stop at one time. Booker Russell gets the call. His job, just hang on to it because they'll be trying to strip it. Russell down to the 17-yard line. New Orleans will use their final timeout. And we can tell you, our executive producer of ABC Sports is Roone Arledge. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football produced by Dennis Lewin and directed by Chet Forty. Our technical director, Bill Morris. Associate director, Rob Finer, who is celebrating his 29th birthday today. Happy birthday.
Tough thing.
Technical manager, Coach Goldrain, our unit manager, Bob Crivelli.
So
Stats and research man, Jerry Klein, who's been thumbing the books over here tonight. Our spotter, Steve Mazika.
So tough for Dick Nolan. He won't sleep tonight.
Well, it was, I think, a tremendous disappointment and letdown for the whole team. As you saw Archie in the beginning of the telecast talk about how much this game meant to them here. They were really all keyed up for it, and really they just didn't quite measure up to the task, and that's basically it. They had opportunities several times to protect the big lead. They didn't know how to do it, and they didn't do it. So they go back to the drawing board. They're 7-7 right now, and the Rams are 1 game up.
I remind you again, immediately following the local news, as we will continue to do here at ABC. ABC News will bring you an update on the Iranian crisis. Stay with us. The guys are doing a tremendous job. Stabler to the knees. They can riffle off 30 seconds here.
Yep. Well, Garrow can't say you sang it too early tonight.
No, and I thought I sang it well, too. I don't know what Garrow's talking. I've only missed 1 time, and that was down in Miami.
Archie Manning looking out of the field. Meanwhile, his counterpart, Stabler, was 26 of 44 for the night. 296 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Came off the mat here in the second half to go 10 of 20 for 149 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now me, Ken Stabler's washed up. He's as good as they come when he's on.
That's it, Dandy.
Yep.
See you in San Diego.
You got it, pal.
Pittsburgh and Houston coming up next Monday night, followed by San Diego and Denver on the final Monday night of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. Again, the final score, Oakland 42, New Orleans 35. Be sure to join us next week for ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The Pittsburgh Steelers against the Houston Oilers from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. More people fly United to Hawaii than any other airline. This has been a presentation of the leader, ABC Sports, bringing you exclusive coverage when the world comes to America this February for the 1980 Winter Olympics.
Tonight.